should start. Now, we'll try and raise our heart rate and warm up our core muscles at the same time, okay? So I'm just going to start by planting my feet and then just rotating through this core. Alright, so this is the first thing that I'm doing. So I'm taking it easy. But as well as rotating, I'm really thinking about my stomach. Doing that, I'm kind of sucking my stomach in, tensing it up. Almost like if you were lying on a beach and someone came over and was going to take a picture, you'd be like, and you tense it. So do that just now, and just, that helps to get those muscles going. I can feel myself loosening off as I rotate, okay? Right, I'm just going to circle my shoulders around as well. Shoulders are going to be needed to support a couple of these movements, so I want to make sure they're warm and loose. Okay, forwards and back, wide circles. Okay, good stuff, right. Little jog on the spot. Or you can march on the spot as well. Alright, if you've got a skipping rope, you can do some like skipping. The main thing that I'm doing with this, getting my heart rate up a bit, getting the blood flowing around my body, to actually warming up my body, getting my core temperature up a bit, and that's your body really then prepared to work nice and hard. So just take a light jog's fine. Okay, right, kick out in front, get the hamstring going, scratch your leg if you need to. Right, kick out in front. Not going too high, just really align with my hip for now. Okay, back on the jog again, so from the side, look, I'm already using my core, I'm trying to stay nice and upright and secure. Let's just do 5 squats. How many is that? Is that 6? Back on the jog again. Okay, shake your legs out. Good. We'll move on to the mat now, okay, or onto the floor and get some work done. So, if you've got a hard floor, then you might want to go and move on to a rug or go and grab a mat or a towel or something like that, okay? To begin with, I'm just going out in the top position of a press up, or a high plank as it's called. And from here, trying to be nice and secure through my shoulders, okay? Nice and straight through my, secure through my spine, like a good straight, almost line going from my heel, through my knee, up to my hips and up to my shoulders, okay? And just holding it steady. Okay, sink down to your knees, take the weight off. I'm going to come back onto my hands and then just do one knee at a time, a mountain climber this way, okay? So I can feel my stomach muscles working, I can feel my shoulders, release it like that. So there's no movements that are making my heart rate go crazy high, but I'm just warming up this middle part. Alright. Once more, then back will come. This time I'm just going to take one hand off and put it down. You're trying to stay as still as possible. There's always a little bit of movement because you're moving the point, your kind of platform for the weight's moving, so there'll be a little bit of movement, but try and still have a lot of control with it. Okay, release it like that. Next thing I'm going to do some press ups. So I'm going to do mine on my knees to make sure my chest and everything's nice and warm, alright? So we'll all do that together now. You can press up on your knees, you can be just pressing with your feet on the ground, and you can be pressing against the wall if pressing on your knees is not where you're at the moment. It's some kind of pressing movement where, just going to do one more, where you're having to keep your core engaged. Alright, and that challenge on my core just increases when I move on to doing full press ups, which we're going to move on to, okay? So the first thing we're going to do in this circuit, right now that we've had a warm up and a limber up, is press ups, okay? If you're someone who normally does press ups on your knees, then maybe tonight you could try and lower down by staying on your feet, and then go on your knees to press back up. So I'll show you what I mean by that. If we're on our toes here, and you just control yourself coming down, okay? Then when you get to the bottom part, you can put your knees down, and you can press, and you do the press up here on your knees, but you're doing the lowering portion on your toes, okay? Pressing up off the knees. A couple of reasons why. One, it'll help us to develop the strength in the press up and transition towards doing knees to doing full press ups. And two, the longer we're on our toes, the more difficult it is for our core, and the core is my main focus of this workout. So as much time on hands and toes the better, okay. The only thing is, when you've got two watches on you, you're going to check them both, aren't you? I'm going to really just try and remember that my stopwatch is on the right hand. And we're going to do press ups now for time, alright? So I'm going to say go, do your press ups either on your knees or on your toes, or a mixture of both. Like I say, lower down on your toes and push back up on your knees. And we'll see where we get to, alright? So 3, 2, go. And a nice controlled press up. It's not a race. I'm really just doing I'm kind of just doing a plank here, but moving up and down, so I'm not too fussed really about how many press ups I get. I just want to keep good form and have my core support me, alright? I'll do one more, deep breath, and I breathe out. As I press up, I breathe out, breathe in as I lower myself down. I'm going to move on to my back now and do a leg raise. And we'll talk about how we can increase the difficulty on this leg raise as well. Now your leg's always going to do the same thing. It's where you put your hands that can make the difference. So I have my hands behind my ears, so I'm going to go in. So let's do everybody a leg raise just now. So I just have them behind my head, and it's really just to keep them out of the way. Alright, and you push up. You can have your hands down here, and they actually press into the ground a little bit to help you move. Okay, some people might have them kind of sitting underneath your lower back. You might feel that supports your lower back a bit better. But I think if you can get your hands off the ground, then it makes your and time. If you can get your hands off the ground with this leg raise, yes, it'll be more difficult, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to progress. So you can have them behind your ears like what I've got, just out to the side but not pressing down, and that can increase the difficulty of it, alright? We're going to go into a wood chop now. So we're on our feet, 2, 1. So what I'm going to do is 5 from this side, so I'm going to pull down and across, okay? And I get a little bit of a rotation through the core, and a bit of a squat as well. So like I'm chopping an axe, okay, I'm going to switch sides, go this way. So a bit of a rotation through my core, and 5 I'll show you from the side. So to there, So not a full squat for me, but I'm getting into a bit of a squat. 4. I'm thinking about my stomach though. As it controls time and rotates me around. So with that, I can just move my hands to there, right, and do nothing with my core. I could just do that. Alright, the core works a little bit, but I'm actually trying to use my core kind of to do that. So when I'm kind of twisting this way, and as I cut across myself, I'm really curling my trunk round to get into that. Next movement, straight into it. Sorry, I'm busy chatting. We'll do it all together here, and you might take a few goes. What I want to do is have both feet and both hands off the ground, and I'm going to lower my right hand back, and I'm going to lower my left leg down. So it takes a bit of coordination, and it comes back up. Then I do the opposite, left hand and right leg. So I'm just trying to coordinate and control this movement. Okay, one more. Time. And we'll have another couple of shots at that as we go through the circuit. It's a good one for control and your coordination and a balance of strength in there. Next move, we're on our front for this. Okay? On our front. And I just want to extend and squeeze through my back and lift my chest off the ground and back. Now I'm just resting my fingertips on my temples. Okay, if you have your hands out in front of you, makes the movement a bit more difficult. If you have them behind you, makes it a little bit more easy. Okay? I'm really just using my lower back and my glutes and my bum here to bring my shoulders off the ground. Okay, same again, right, we're resting. With this one, I'm looking at the ground in front of me, because if I crane my neck up, then you're starting to get a bit of pressure on the neck. So if my hands are here, I'm still just looking right down there. Okay, so I'm not doing this big neck bend. It's all here, I'm trying to squeeze. Okay, and my glutes and my lower back. So remember that when that movement comes back around again. We're going to do press ups now again, okay? So into your press up position, and we're going to get straight into it. So just controlling the press ups, lower down if you can on your toes, and push back up on your knees is fine. So control, push back up, control it down, push back up, or a full press up is good as well. Okay, 2 more in. Control, control. So a slow pace really on those press ups, because as I say, it's really the core muscles I'm wanting to work. If I was wanting to work my chest, I might do a few more, do them a bit faster. That's not really what I'm after. Leg raise. Okay, on your back. Hands out the way. I'm going to have just my sitting here and go. And I bring my feet off the ground. I'm trying to keep my legs, as straight as possible. There is a slight bend in them just because of my hamstring flexibility. But if you're finding straight legs a bit difficult, look, you can bend your legs a bit. And it makes the movement a little bit easier. Not loads, but a little bit. But try and have your legs as straight as you can. Right, the straighter they are, the harder you're working, okay? Done with the leg raises. Wood chop next. Remember what I said the last time, it's not just putting our hands up and putting them across. We're really trying to get a bit of a rotation that way as I straighten up, and almost a rotation and a crunch down as I go across. Okay, so I'm going to do 4s this time. 4 one way, 4 the next. Switch over, okay? Let's go, we're off. 1, 2, 3, 4, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, other side again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Think about this core as you're doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, do 2 each side now, 1, 2, and then 1 and 2 the other side, and we're done. So I hope folks, I hope you're feeling that in your core, because I am. If you really think about these muscles working, alright, then you'll engage with them and you'll get more activation out of them, okay? We're lying on our back again with our feet and our hands up, folks. So just think, time, let's go. Just think opposite hand, okay? So my left leg straightens out, as is my right arm, and then I bring them back. Control, and back. Just control that movement. Last one. To here, and done. So a really good movement for coordination. Everything through your abs, your core, running down into the hip muscles and hip flexors at the front, getting them all to work properly and in unison in a nice balance. Superman movement next. I'm on my front, using my lower back to bring my back off the ground and go. So where's your hand placement? Mine are just out to the sides. I can rest them on my temples, as I say. If I have them here, makes the movement a bit easier. If I have them in front of me, increases the resistance. So you don't travel time with that Superman move. There's not a huge range of motion. There's really just a little bit of a squeeze on your lower back to bring you off the ground a little bit, but it does a lot of good work. And that's lower back's an area that a lot of people get pain from because it's not really well trained, particularly if you do more stuff on your front than your back, then there can be an imbalance there. Right, we're straight into these press ups. Come up, slow and controlled press ups. Pull my stomach in tight. Breathing. Working the chest and shoulders, working the core as well. Couple more. Good. Well done. And we're on to leg raises next. Okay, we're getting through the work here. We're on third round. Alright. We'll definitely get 4 rounds in, hopefully 5. And just taking a bit of time to really focus on the foundation of our strength, our core. Okay, so lift the legs up. And as I usually point out, if any of these movements are movements that you don't feel super strong in, then it's almost like a test. This one here is working my abdominals on the front, but your lower abdominals tend to be targeted with a leg raise. So you might find you do sit-ups and you're really good coming up the way, but when your back's flat and your legs are coming up, you're not as good. So that's a little signal to you that you can do a bit more work on the lower side with leg raises. And same press ups. If you're feeling a bit weak on the press ups, maybe you can do a few extra press ups throughout the week. You're going to go good job across and across to there and go and across, and I switch sides. So on the side, we're squatting in, we're squatting across and go. Other side, overcome, reach and twist, reach, twist. Go. I'll cross myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 4 from this side. We're done. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. All the sets that we're doing are starting to accumulate now in our core. As we twist around with that wood chop, we're getting the muscles that run up the sides. On our back, this movement, this dead bug movement, I want to say it's called dead bug. Sometimes I forget the names. But we're getting our lower abs, yeah, controlling it. And think about your abs as you go. You really got to concentrate to stay in the right position. It's a funny one for your coordination. Last one. And back. Okay. We're still in the mat for this last one. Superman again. So, using my lower back, right? I'm lying on the ground, use my lower back to extend myself up. Squeeze in here, okay? And have your hands out in front or just by your sides. This is when I'm changing. Right, let's get into this. And as I come up, I'm just trying to pause for a sec. So I'm not just doing this. I'm actually trying to come up and pause and go down. Pause, go down. Last few seconds. Good. Good stuff. Right, that's another set we've done. We're going to go back around that circuit one more time. So in 15 seconds time, we're going to be doing our press ups again. Okay, then leg raise and so on and so forth. So keep working this. These abs in here. Press ups in 3 seconds. So let's go into it, okay? And go. You need to adjust your feet, adjust your hand position so you're nice and secure. And I can feel the muscles in my stomach more than I could on my first set of these press ups anyway. As I push up, I breathe out. Okay, and relax. Good set of press ups. Leg raises next. So we're working core this week, but next week, guys, we'll be up on our feet the entire half an hour. We're going to do some cardio work next week, so we're going to get a real sweat on next week. Alright? But let's finish off our core this week first. Right, leg raises. And as I lower my legs back down, I'm trying to control that as well, so I don't just let them kind of fall back down and go again. Right, kind of shoot up. I'm trying to control the thing. One more, up and down. Right, wood chop. Last one we're doing now. So from the side, look, slight bend in the knees. I'm trying to be in an athletic position and rotate away over here. And as I can squat in and come down, so I finish up here. So not a full squat, kind of quarter squat. So the legs are involved a bit, but the main thing is I rotate, okay? Let's do 4 each side as well. Go. And if you bring your feet in a bit narrower, that makes it a bit more challenging as well, just to keep your balance. This side is working now. Okay, switch sides. I think I did 1 and 4 on that side. And go. lift it up, across, other side, 3 and 4, and we're done. Okay, dead bug next for coordination. This is probably the one I find easiest, this dead bug. Maybe you do as well, maybe not, because there is a skill element in there because you've got to have the coordination, but muscles wise it's quite straightforward. Right, shall we go into it? Back we come. Control. Great. Other side. Go. I've moved closer to my wall, I'm touching my wall now. I'm out of position. Nice and slow again, the tempo that I'm using when it comes to the core. Time. When it comes to the core, I will go a bit more slow and controlled. If you're going for athletic kind of performance, or you're a sports person, or whatever it is, that's when the tempo, your movements will change. You might do things quicker, a bit more explosive. But for us in these classes, we're trying to build a strong core and a good level of overall cardio fitness. So we like to just take it at a kind of medium pace for everything. Right, squeeze up, go, last set of these. Squeeze. So I can feel the fatigue in my lower back, I can feel the form. I wasn't able to squeeze up as much, so I've moved my arms now. And that makes the movement slightly easier and enables me to continue to get some really good work in. And time. Okay, rather than just do the hands up here, and when it gets hard, just stop. Adjust it and continue to work. Let's do one final thing on these abs, alright? We'll do some sit-ups this time. So we'll get them going. We've been doing the legs have been coming up, okay? This time we'll lie on our back and we'll bring our shoulders off the ground. I'm going to have my feet on the ground, I'm going to have a bend in my legs, and I'm going to have my arms straight, and I'm just going to slide my hands up my legs, and when I get to the knees I'm going to come back down. So the range of movement is reduced a little bit, but I want to keep the focus and the intensity on the stomach. So let's get into this, and I'll give everybody a countdown. So feet are on the floor, your knees are bent, and from here, if I have straight arms, to me they go midway up my thighs, alright? And I'm not going to reach my hands up, I'm going to keep my hands there. I'm going to use my stomach to come up and then slide my hands up, alright? 2, 1, let's go. So use your stomach and go. I'm trying to keep my neck and my spine in a good place, so I'm looking up at the roof. Okay, I'm not doing some crazy neck bend or keeping it back here. Trying to keep it fairly consistent. And resist the temptation to get here and just reach with your hands. Keep your arms level and use your stomach to come up. Okay, and we'll try and get as much as we can out of the stomach. Now we've been working it all night, so it's not as fresh as it normally would be. Okay, almost there. Let's do 3 more. Keep your breathing going. Up and down. Good. Happy with that. Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed the core session. Trying to keep the sessions varied and do different things each time. So as that builds up, and I save them all and pop them on YouTube. So people can go on YouTube and kind of pick and choose. You could do this core one and then do another workout after, one of the other ones after, or you can do another one before and then do this 20 minutes on the quad after. So it's up to you. But if you look at what they are, let's stretch your, I'm going to stretch your hamstrings out and stretch my lower back out here. I know I've not been doing tons on the legs, but I still like a good hamstring stretch. And you'll see by the names and the little description on YouTube what the workouts are, so you should be able to pair them up nicely. If you're feeling fit and strong and you're feeling like you want to go and do 2 back to back one day, which a lot of you guys out there will be able to do. Stretch my quads now, so I put my foot up behind me. Now if you're doing that, what I do is, do the first one, you'll probably be warmed up, so when you go into the second video, you could just skip it forward by 4 or 5 minutes and cut out the warm up on the second one, because you're already warm. Saves yourself 5 minutes. Okay, that's me done both sides. Next I'm going to stretch my chest out, okay? So stand up nice and tall, my hands go behind my back, and together behind my back, and I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades, okay? Open my chest out at the front, stretch my chest, keep on breathing, and relax out of that. Okay,